Prime Minister in 1948. I quote him, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, religious beliefs, and customs, and do not show themselves any signs or willingness to unite. Nigerian unity is only a British invention. Tafawa, 1948. Okay. Now listen to Inari Azikiwe, 1964. It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Should the politicians fail to heed this warning, then I will venture the prediction that the experience of the Democratic Republic of Congo will be a child's play if ever it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role. Inari Azikiwe, 1964. Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same context as there are English, Scots, and Welsh. Okay. 1947. Yes. Thank you for featuring.
All right, let's take it one more time.
Nigeria is a big lie. A big lie? Yes. I want to substantiate my claim of saying Nigeria is a big lie. Please listen to Tafawa, Nigeria's first Prime Minister in 1948. I quote him, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, religious beliefs, and customs, and do not show themselves any signs or willingness to unite. Nigerian unity is only a British invention. Tafawa, 1948. Okay. Now listen to Inari Azikiwe, 1964. It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Should the politicians fail to heed this warning, then I will venture the prediction that the experience of the Democratic Republic of Congo will be a child's play if ever it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role. Inari Azikiwe, 1964. Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same context as there are English, Scots, and Welsh. Okay. 1947. Yes. Thank you for featuring on stage.
The question is Nigeria a big lie? That is the question for the afternoon to all our audience and listeners from around the world. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly known as the Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. The platforms that educate, the platforms that believe that Nigeria needs to dissolve, and it needs to do so before it is too late. Please share the program and invite others to join as well. As usual on this platform, we look at why we need to disintegrate from Nigeria. I had the privilege to get a WhatsApp message from someone in Kano State, precisely an Hausa man. And I'm trying to pick that information so that we can go through it together. Once again, as many of us that are campaigning for the right to self-determination, let us continue to remind ourselves that it is not just the Yoruba that wants an exit out of Nigeria. We also believe that the Igbos have already exited, and the Hausas are different from the Fulanis. They are also crying out to exit Nigeria. And we hope that our politicians from the north to the south to the southeast to the middle belt would allow the disintegration of Nigeria peacefully. And we hope that will be done as quickly as possible so that every region can go and develop at their own pace. But for those that are still in denial, we hope that as we have listened to that particular clip that stated clearly, and I'll play that one more time before I tell you my conversation with this Hausa man in Kano State. This is the first time we are having a communication. after he must have picked up my number on the social media and reached out to me. But let's listen one more time to this argument, and I want you to help me out. If Nigeria is a big lie, and if it's not a big lie, why do you think so? And if Nigeria is a big lie, why do you think so? So let's listen one more time to this.
Nigeria is a big lie. A big lie? Yes. I want to substantiate my claim of saying Nigeria is a big lie. Please, listen to Tafawa, Nigeria's first prime minister in 1948. I quote him. Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, religious beliefs, and customs, and do not show themselves any signs or willingness to unite. Nigeria unity is only a British invention. Tafawa, 1948. Okay. Now listen to Nnamdi Azikiwe, 1964. It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Should the politicians fail to heed this warning, then I will venture the prediction that the experience of the Democratic Republic of Congo will be a child's play if ever it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role. Nnamdi Azikiwe, 1964. Obafemi Awolowo. Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same context as there are English, Scots, and Welsh. Okay. 1947.
That was Oloyekan Alabi that was taking us through while Nigeria is a big lie. And it is only the intention of Britain to keep us together as one country, even though we are many countries in a country. So let's go to my discussion. At exactly 9:59 a.m. today, 16th of January 2025, a WhatsApp message came through and said, "Good morning, Mr. Koiki. My name is Sunday. I'm an Hausa by tribe from Kano State." I said, "Wow, morning. How is Kano today?" "Fine. I'm happy about your work and you are doing great, sir. God bless you." I replied back with Ashe Dumare. "Thank you, sir." He went further to say, "The freedom is not about Yoruba or Igbo people alone. Even we, the Hausa people, are dying in silence." He sent a video that is about 3 minutes 46 seconds. And the video is about the music that he produced. I'll play that in just about a few minutes. I went further to say at 10:54 a.m., Hausa people need more voices to be free from this Fulani. And he highlighted the video. "This is a song I sang. I need it to be aired on your TV." And I'm going to play that video in a minute. "Yes, sir," he says, "we need the help of all indigenous to be free from the Fulani people. No Hausa." Then he went further to say, "They have hidden us deep. We are like slaves in our land. The Hausas are like slaves on their land. All the imams are Fulanis." He sent another audio. I will play that audio. And I said again, it will be nice to have few Hausas to come on our program to talk to us. And he went further. "I would like to link you up with Ajia Alumbi Jitami. I've gone to her page. She's one out of many, I believe, indigenous Hausas that is also doing what we called awareness and campaign to enlighten and educate the Hausas on the reason why they need to exit and become an independent. I will tell you a little bit more about this individual. The individual that sent a message from Kano went further. She's like Sunday Igboho of Hausa land. So it seems now that it's not about Igboho anymore that wants a separation of Nigeria. He went further to say that he's also like Nnamdi Kanu of Igbo land. So that means that we have these courageous women called Ajia Alumbe Jitami that is doing exactly what Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho is asking for the separation of Nigeria. I said, okay, please do. I will appreciate. I said, great music, lovely music. He says, okay, sir, thank you. Let's listen to the first music that was produced, and we will talk about Ajia Alumbe Jitami and why the Hausas are now coming up to say, we are not Fulanese. Our land has been taken away from us by the Fulanese. And this is just to remind those that are still in denial that the agenda of the Fulani is to kill, maim, and take your land. It doesn't matter how long it takes the Fulani, they will fight to their last blood. So it is important that platforms like ours continue to educate the Hausas that you need to free yourself before it is becoming too late. It is late already, but you can still literally come back and have your own land back from the Fulanis that have taken and deceived you with the religion. And I want this Yoruba to understand, I mean we the Yorubas, that their voices have been suppressed because the jihad in Hausa land has gone for a very long time according to the history. And it is high time that Hausa must come out more and talk about why they need to leave Nigeria and also chase away the Fulani back to Sahel. Let's listen to the music that was produced by this man from Kano State that was sent to me this morning.
What have life become for the Hausa people? The Fulanis are killing and destroying our properties. We must fight to defend our land. Hausa people, yeah. Hausa, rise up. It's your time to wake up. Stand up and defend yourself. Hausa, rise up. It's your time. Stand up, defend yourself, yeah. Oh, rise up and defend yourself, We are killed on a daily basis. We are destroyed on a daily basis. We are counting numbers of dead people every day. It's time we must touching me up. Yeah, we want to be governors in our own land. We want to be kings in our own land. We want to be councilors, chairmen in our own land. We are like slaves in our own land. Nobody can save us. Houses and shit and
Wow. Hausa freedom is not about Yoruba or Igbo people alone. Even we, the Hausa people, are dying in silence, according to this gentleman that sent me a message from Kano State this morning. So it looks like that we have many people that are listening to us in the northern part of Nigeria. I'm aware of that already, but it's good that we continue to get the right fact. Let's listen to the audio of the same music, I believe.
What have life become? What have life become for the Hausa people? But Fulanis are killing and destroying our properties. We must rise to defend our land. Hausa people, yeah. Hausa, rise up. It's your time to wake up. Stand up and defend yourself. Hausa, rise up. It's your time. Stand up. Defend yourself. Defend yourself. Yeah. Oh. Rise up and defend yourself. Defend yourself. We are killed on a daily basis. We are destroyed on a daily basis. We are counting numbers of dead people every day. It's time we must rise up and defend ourselves.
We'll be playing more of that, as it is now clear that the unity of Nigeria is no longer unity anymore. And we will continue to tell the politicians at home to listen to the voices of the indigenous people from the southeast part of Nigeria, to the middle belt, to the Hausa, to the north, to the Yoruba in the southwest, and allow Nigerians to decide if truly we still want to remain as one country. Nigeria will not be the country that will break alone. Many countries will still eventually disintegrate because of the way the colonial and the time of different border partition. We can see that Donald Trump is talking about the Greenland, and the Greenland says they don't want to be taken away as an independent sovereign people. So I do not understand why our politicians are shying away from the fact that we were told at the point that we are Nigerians, but we are now challenging that Nigeria, whether it is truly a fact or a lie. And let's listen to this one more time before we go to the next part of the program.
Nigeria is a big lie. A big lie? Yes. I want to substantiate my claim of saying Nigeria is a big lie. Please, listen to Tafawa Belewa, Nigeria's first Prime Minister, in 1948. I quote him, "Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, religious beliefs, and customs, and do not show themselves any signs or willingness to unite. Nigeria unity is only a British invention." Tafawa Balewa, 1948. Okay. Now listen to Nnamdi Azikiwe, 1964. "It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Should the politicians fail to heed this warning, then I will venture the prediction that the experience of the Democratic Republic of Congo will be a child's play if ever it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role. Nnamdi Azikiwe in 1964, Obafemi Awolowo. Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same context as there are English, Scots, and Welsh. Okay. 1947. Yes. Thank you for featuring on the stage.
Some of the reason why we do not want to remain as one Nigeria is also as the Sharia law is trying to be pushed to the southwest by the Fulanis to deceive the Yoruba Muslim that it is in the interest of the Yorubas to have a Sharia embedded within the Yoruba part of the current Nigeria. But while we are still part of the current system of Nigeria, the voice has been raised that we do not want to be part of anything known as Sharia. Let's give you some of the official penalties of a Sharia law in case you are not aware. This was put together by Makanjola Adigun, and as we saw the press statement yesterday in Ibadan, let's read quickly. Official penalties in Islam, Sharia law. Crime penalty. Hateism is death by beheading. To leave Islam, death by beheading. If you're drinking alcohol once or twice, you'll be beaten by 40 of 80 lashes of white. Drink alcohol 3 or 4 times, it is death by beheading. Adultery, death by stoning. Fornication, if not married, death by stoning. Rape, if not married, 100 lashes plus 1 year of banishment. Homosexuality, death by stoning. Homosexuality method 2, death by throwing off the highest point in the city. Homicide, death by beheading. Fighting against Muslims, jihadis, death by beheading. Blaspheming, insulating Allah, Muhammad, and the whole Quran, death by beheading. And we saw what played out during the death of Deborah for blaspheming when she was burned to death. Waging war against Allah, that again is death by beheading and crucifixion. Also, causing mischief and corruption in the land, death by beheading. E.g., causing disbelief, terrorism, lawlessness, spreading disorder, teaching atheism or evolution. Drug smuggling, death by beheading. Highway robbery, death. Highway robbery with no murder, death by beheading. Failed highway robbery with murder, land and foot amputated. Highway robbery plus murder, death by crucifixion. Stealing first offense, right hand amputated. Stealing second offense, left hand amputated. Stealing third offense, left hand amputated. Stealing fourth, right foot amputated. Stealing the fifth offense, death by beheading. Spying and espionage, death by beheading. Treason, death by beheading. Scurry, witchcraft, death by beheading. Incest, death by beheading. Sodom and bestiality, blaspheming, death by beheading. Abandoned prayer, death by beheading. Burning, soiling of the Quran, blaspheming, death by beheading. Rejecting Quran, death by beheading. Not paying zakat, tax, death by beheading. Associating with Allah to polytheism, death by beheading. Worshipping the sun, the moon, or idol, death by beheading. Hanging onto the curtains of Kaaba in Mecca, death by beheading to all the citizens of Yoruba nation. These are above the Sharia religious injunctions. Some agent of the Fulani Caliphate are desperately working towards to create evil satanic unrest within the Yoruba nation and among the Yoruba people of Oyo town. The Yoruba rose today with the unanimous voice of their delegate all across Yoruba state and communities to give a resounding no and rejection to introduction of Sharia law legal jurisprudence into the general lives and aspiration of people and our affairs on our territory. Yours truly was evidently and physically present at the World Press Conference rejecting the above laws in its entirety in Ibadan yesterday, the 15th of January 2025. Adigun Makanjola. Now, let's come back quickly. I have just about 15 more minutes to see if we can touch on another angle of reason why Britain continue to deceive us that Nigeria will be a great place for myself and you by 2075, which is 50 years from now. Most of us will be alive, but we will be very old. We are not going to wait 50 years to be deceived that Nigeria will be a great place. Nigeria is not a great place for 64 years, and I don't think it will be a better place in the next 50 years. But the lies continue by the British to continue to deceive those that needs to be deceived. We can no longer be deceived because we are now wiser and we are more intelligent, and everybody is now asking for the total disintegration of this union in a non-violent way. As the mobilization continues, I have listened to different arguments and I've listened to some of your voice notes, those of you that are calling my attention, that some of what I am saying on my platform regarding the upcoming rally. I am just one out of millions of Yoruba people that believe in the right to self-determination. I am not your leader, but Bakitoye remains the leader and Igbowo as well. I am also one of the media that is just very big within the Yoruba nation. My job is to remind you that we are coming to go for a rally. Yours is to disagree with it. But if you are one of those that believe in the leadership of our leaders, and we have been instructed to go out there and continue to campaign for the upcoming mobilization of the rally, I don't give a toss if you're not going to attend. But one thing is, the rest of us will attend those rallies and we will continue to push towards a peaceful exit. We know that there is no rally that will be peaceful, but let us leave it like that and wait for the reaction of the federal government to see what next they will do when we all come out on the street of every part of our Ikunle in Yoruba land. But if you're still one of those arguing yourself on what I say on my platform, I have no regret to whatever I say. Rally is a pointer. I am not the one that have said we should go out and tell you that there will be a rally. That is the instruction that was given by Sunday Igbowo and also Babakitoye. I am not the only one that they've told. This has been mentioned in a conversation that we held with Chief Sunday Igbowo. If the others are not doing it yet, doesn't mean that they are not going to talk about the rally. Mine is to prepare you for the rally. Yours is to accept it or disagree. But one thing is, in every part of the world, even the one I live, rally do occur. Sometimes they could become very, very nasty and they could turn violent. But that will be subject to the authority of each country. We have seen rallies in America where they shut down after the killing of George Floyd. That reflected across the globe where many of those that were icons of the slave trade, all their statues were destroyed, including here in the United Kingdom. So if you think that rally is not part of the movement, then the question is, how do you plan to exit from Nigeria? Our engagement with the federal government must remain non-violent until the government decide to become violent on us, and we will know what next our leaders will tell you. My job is not to tell you to come out with any weapon, but as Yorubas, you can prepare yourself traditionally. Whether you understand that or not, you can tell somebody to explain that to you. We are Yorubas, and we have every right to carry charms because Nigeria right now is no longer secured, and it is important to protect yourself against the enemies. Let's wait and see the reaction of the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when we come out. We saw what played out during Buhari, but this time around, like I said, if our demands are not met, we are going nowhere. Our demand must be met. And let me say this clearly. If the government decides to go violent, then whatever played out during the rally will be left for the federal government to deal with. I don't know what can play out, but I'm sure most of us are well intelligent to understand that if the federal government attack us on a peaceful outing, then the federal government would have to explain that to the international community, while those that are carrying placard and asking for the right to self-determination, that Nigeria is part of treaty at the United Nations, where we saw the current administration travel to United Nations General Assembly and is demanding. The Vice President Shetima Kashima said clearly that they should allow those that are Palestinian the right to self-determination. So I don't want us to mix what I say here. You have every right to agree with what I say that is coming from the instruction of our leaders, and you also have the right to disagree. I am just a messenger that picks up the message and deliver it to every Yoruba sons and daughters. But whether you take that message or not is not my problem. That is your problem. Most of us live in the European country. You can see how dressed we are. We wish that we are no longer here. But if those of you that wish to come down here, you have every right to come here and live here. But some of us are tired of living in the United Kingdom and America and many other places that we live. Rally will be out before the end of March. Date will be announced officially by Babaki Toye. Mine is to continue to mobilize and prepare your mind. Yours is to disagree and continue to argue stupidly in the WhatsApp group. I have listened to some of your voice notes. And kudos to those that agree in the line that we need to push further. We are doing very well so far. We have become people that many will use in the next country that wants to break away. Because in the last 4 years, this movement has been a non-violent. And it will remain so until we see more push from the federal government to allow us to go freely or turn it into whatever they believe is going to happen. But let me remind you, we have seen that the new administration of Donald Trump say clearly to Hamas and Israel to stop the war in Palestine, or there will be more problem ahead. The same negotiation that was given to them last year is what they are now accepting. So if the federal government turned it into anarchy, violent, they would have to pay the consequence of such, not we, because we have remained a law-abiding citizen in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, campaigning for the right to self-determination. But if the federal government goes very hard on us, they will have to blame themselves to why such has happened. But without millions of us on the road telling the government and the international community our demands, then that means that we are not yet ready to pull out of Nigeria. Our politicians cannot stop us because our right is exactly what we are doing. So, and let me quickly see if I can find, the video of where the vice president stated clearly that the self-determination of the Palestinian must be respected. And this is how the vice president stated it during the United Nations General Assembly last year.
People down there to fight, just as we know when the fight of the Ukraine started.
No, that's not it. Bear with me. Let's see if I can still have it here. If otherwise, we would have to. Okay, I'm not sure if I have it here, but I'm sure many of us have listened to where Shetima stated clearly that the right of the indigenous people of Palestinian must be respected during the period that he traveled to United Nations General Assembly. And let's read through quickly, and I think this is the video. I managed to find it, and let's listen to what the vice president stated as at the time when he was at the United Nations representing the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Today, we are all witnesses to the heart-wrenching situation in Gaza and other Palestinian territories. we cannot discuss war and peace, conflicts and resolution, or humanitarian imperatives today without reflecting on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that has been raging since 7 August last year. Of course, the conflict predates this period and has been simmering for a better part of half a century. What it tells us is that the international community has failed to live up to the spirit and aspirations of the United Nations to raise the wall of inequality, violence and domination of one people by another. Justice is antithetical to revenge. Freedom is an inalienable right and a natural entitlement that cannot be denied to any people. The Palestinian people.
Okay, freedom is an inalienable right that cannot be denied to the Yoruba people that wants to leave Nigeria peacefully. Freedom is an inalienable right of the Yoruba people that wants to leave Nigeria so that they can have their own independent government. But it is entirely up to every one of us to mobilize our people and prepare them for the upcoming rally. I am just a messenger delivering the message from our leader. Don't hold me accountable for asking you to prepare for rally. It is the responsibility of you and me to tell the next person that that is also part of our engagement. As we saw from the video that we have just given you the evidence that the Vice President, Shetima, traveled outside Nigeria and said this one more time.
Freedom is an inalienable right and a natural entitlement that cannot be denied to any people. The Palestinian people deserve their independence. They deserve to have a home of their own in territories already recognized by this very assembly and by international law.
The Vice President is pushing for the right of the Palestinian people, and I hope that they will be also pushing for the right of the Yoruba people to leave Nigeria. Not everybody needs to agree for the disintegration of Nigeria, but the amount of those that agree must be respected and allowed to dissolve the country peacefully so that we can still be neighbors among ourselves. But if you're still one of those that believe that we should remain one Nigeria so that there will be more violence and more killings among each and every unit of the Fulani against the other indigenous people, that can no longer be workable and that cannot be tolerated. This is the reason why we are telling the international community, the European Unions, the African Union, and even the new bloc of the Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali that have joined together because they've left the ECOWAS, as we all are aware. We must continue to tell the British government and the American administration that this is what many Nigerians have said about Nigeria.
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves. We are not Nigerian. Okay, where is Nigeria? Where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say, pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria are not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
The people that still indicate that they want to be one Nigeria, we need to sit back together and decide, not through any election of voting for a political party. We need to sit together on a round table and discuss this issue without any bullet on the table. But if the federal government believes that they can just push people aside because they are the federal government, the people have spoken. The indigenous people from the Hausas have spoken. The indigenous people from the Middle Belt, the indigenous people from the Southeast, and the indigenous people from the Yorubas have all spoken that there is a problem. And the problem is Nigeria is not a workable country because it has been lies upon lies for the last 64 years. And we must not allow it to go into a civil war. We must allow this to go into a roundtable discussion, because let me state clearly, if we still end up fighting each other, we will still come back on the round table and resolve the matter. Just as we are witnessing today, Hamas and Israel have now come back to an agreement after millions of people have been put into a very tough refugee situation. Thousands of people have died from both sides. Hamas is still holding on to some of the, Israel's, citizens. Why then are we going to allow Nigeria to go into that same situation when we know that we can still come back on the round table and resolve this problem? Let's say it again. All the Yoruba politicians, the matter will no longer be in your hand if things goes the other way around. The matter will be between the leaders of the self-determination and the international community to discuss how we will eventually leave Nigeria. The matter is still within the House of Assemblies in every part of Yoruba land to deliberate and talk about the unity of one Nigeria. But if you continue to shy away without discussing this matter in the House of Assembly, where you are representing the Yoruba people and you are pushing for 2027, let me say this clearly, that if things goes the other way around, you will not be part of people that we will want to talk to anymore. It will now be between our leaders and the international community and only the federal government of the presidency. Yoruba people still wants to leave Nigeria without a bloodshed, and that remains the stand of our leader, the Emeritus Professor Adebanji Akintoye, that the Yoruba can exit Nigeria without anybody shooting each other. That still remains the stand of Baba Akintoye, and this is why we are telling you in the diaspora to tell your loved ones that if we can't get the numbers out on the street, then the matter might continue to take longer. But so of us that doesn't want it to take longer, we must go and prepare as we mobilize for the rally 2025. Our demands must be met, and the only demand is, do we still want to remain one Nigeria? Yes or no? It can be done through plebiscite, it can be done through referendum, and that will decide whether Yoruba in Kwara, Yoruba in Kogi, Yoruba in Ondo State, Yoruba in Ekiti, Osun State, Oyo State, Lagos State, and Ogun State still wants to remain a one Nigeria. You cannot force us to remain in one Nigeria. That is not possible. Nobody can force us to remain in one Nigeria. It is an option around the world to decide your freedom. But freedom is not being sold in the market. Freedom must be given, but freedom must also be taken. We will take our freedom, even if, and I'll leave that as a clause, we will take our freedom. But for now, let's continue to create the awareness and prepare for ourselves what is about to come. Once again, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and you've been listening to Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. At exactly 1600 hours from London, where this transmission is coming from, we will continue to document every videos and every audio so that when the time comes, nobody could say, we never heard that the Yorubas were campaigning for Yoruba nation. There will be a full stop of us being part of Nigeria, and we hope it will be done amicably without a war. Thank you for listening once again. Have a great day.